Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming to you with yet another edition of StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void and Mid-Rank Madness. Today it's going to be a match between Dalinar and Javier on an Acid Plant, the Ladder Edition. Woo! Top left-hand corner, the Red Zerg player, it is Dalinar, who I assume is only named after the Stormlight Archives protagonist, Dalinar. Well, one of like 6 or so, because it's a very sprawling series. And in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Blue Terran player, it is JavierPBR, which I think that's how you say that, Javier? Something like that. There's definitely an R sound at the end, not a hard R like an American R, but more of like a Spanish R. Not an A either. It's not like it's French. It's not Javier, it's Javier. Something along those lines. PBR, which is a kind of booze. So I don't know what's going on with this name. Also this, I don't know how to even say that clan name at all. Got an A and an E together, and at the end, and TSO, and I think probably TSO is all you're supposed to read. Anyway, this was sent to me at falconpaladin@gmail.com with the subject of Mid-Rank Madness. Great game. Said some other stuff too that got me intrigued and piqued. So here we are casting it for you for your Friday. I know some people don't like the Mid-Rank Madness, but I just feel it's important to go ahead and give representation to the mid-levels and lower levels of StarCraft 2. Who's going to cast these guys, if not me, huh? Are there other channels that cast Gold and Platinum level games? I don't know. Maybe there are. I know a lot of people like to cast the Bronze stuff, because that's popular, but not so much the mid-level guys where everybody lives, just because it's not quite bad enough to be funny, and it's not quite good enough to be impressive a lot of the time. But I don't know. I see impressive stuff. I see good games at this level pretty much every time I cast one of these, so should be a fantastic experience for everybody involved. Thank you for clicking on this. I really do appreciate the support and the interest in what I do. That Overlord's going home. Where are you going, boy? Did he think this was a ZVZ? He might have thought this was a ZVZ, and it was like, oh wait, hold on. This Overlord is supposed to go back and defend up this way here. APM not that high for these players, but really there's nothing going on in the early stages. You can spam at this stage if you want, but there's really no reason to do so. Oh, not a Reaper. I had a Reaper name ready to go. It was a pretty good one. Ah, Javier, come on, man. Make a Reaper. Believe in yourself. He's not going to do it. He's making another Marine instead. Pulling all of the drones off gas is Dalinar. Wow, he gets speed, pulls all of the workers off gas. This is an interesting build. You usually want to keep 1 or 2 on there so you can actually get up to a lair at some point, but man, he has no interest in doing anything but having speedlings for the first little bit. It usually implies too, there's the third hatch. Okay, it usually implies a pretty quick third hatch. Makes sense, man. All right, Dalinar. Dalinar has a plan. He's going to try to macro it up, even though he's entirely blind as to what his opponent is doing. His opponent could be proxy barracksing him right now, although the Overlord scouting has been pretty good in trying to find particular locations where those barracks could be and hasn't found anything yet. So he's playing with fire, but he's not going to get burned at this stage of the game. Tank production has begun. Second command center almost done here for Javier. Javier going to go ahead and actually upgrade it to an orbital command inside the main base. He has had some bad experiences in the past with building his command center, his natural, down on the low ground. Which, I don't know that I can blame him, but there are things you can do about that. You can make a Reaper and keep it at home. Okay, Dalinar, I need you to inject. I've already cast a big old Into the Void game where the Zerg player did not inject. Okay, there it is. There it is. Not bad. In single digits after the inject. That's where you want to be. You can keep it there. You're going to be all right. Still, just so blind. He doesn't know anything that's happening right now. He doesn't even have an Overlord ready to scout, which you really need to do. Alright, that said, Javier's got some tanks, got some Marines, not exactly killing it on the macro side of things. He could probably use another barracks here. I mean, a 1-1 here is very interesting. The defense is pretty good. Siege tank here is a traditional placement of that tank to, you know, make sure Ling attacks and Roach attacks don't do a whole lot. But Dalinar, defending exceptionally well, has a good jillion minerals. He's fully saturated 2 extractors on his natural base, but nothing on his main right now. Creep spread should be happening here. And the mech... Oh, there we go. The mech queens looked like they were going to, and then they did. So it's only mech queen in this particular setup and mech drones, but not mech zerglings. These are regular style zerglings with huge wings in proportion to their body. We don't really ever look at zerglings this close up, do we? Big old wings. That is why they can move so fast, is they're basically flying. And they do little hop, skip jumps too if you watch them closely too when they're running. But usually they're just kind of blurs. Zooming around out here. Got a couple Hellions, got a couple tanks. I mean, Honestly, if I'm Dalinar, I'm expanding it again. I'm going for a 4th base at this stage because this is a very defensive play by Javier. He's working on additional barracks here. He's recognizing he's starting to float some money. Dalinar floating a ton as well. He just needs to expand. If you don't have an attack coming at you at 5 minutes and you haven't seen medevacs coming at all either, expand. Do it. Scout at the very least. See what you're dealing with. Send a single Zergling in. Just one. Run them up. See, Marines and Hellions and tanks. Okay, that's it. That's all it took to get that information that you need. I mean, you're just blindly, going for a lair here. No Roach Warren whatsoever. Oh, hold on. What is this? Evolution Chamber, Spore Crawler, Spine Crawler. Maybe going to go for Muta, which I'd actually be a pretty big fan of here. There are not many Marines on the ground. That might change. We are working on Combat Shield. And these are 2 reactored barracks. So we could have a lot of Marines very, very soon. But Overlord scouting, I mean, is there... Finally, this guy decides to come on in, this Mech Overlord. This Mecha Lord with his very scary orange glowing eyes and scary mecha mandibles. He's going to catch the first glimpse of the enemy. The first one that anybody has seen of anybody else this entire game. Just kidding, he didn't. He got literally as close as you can without seeing anything that is going on. Woo! First 6 minutes of this game have been interesting, I can tell you that much. Alright, so Starport has a reactor. Factory's got a tech lab. Stim coming in here too. It's going to be a Marine with some Marauder, tanks, and it's going to be a good time. Dalinar, what you working on? Hydra. Alright, so he's got Spore Crawlers for drops. I don't know how these players aren't freaking out right now. If I'm 6 minutes into this game and I have no idea what my opponent is doing, it freaks me out. Is it a battle cruiser rush? Is it maybe a huge mech play? A huge mech play would be a problem for what we're doing right now for Dalinar. Oh, he's got mech hydras too, though. The knives coming off the ends of their hands. So weird. Okay, 4th base on the way at 6 minutes for Dalinar. He's still floating a bunch of money, but he's making 12 hydras at a time and working on upgrades. He's going to try to push here. Again, into what he doesn't know. He has no idea whatsoever. Decent tank line setup from Javier. Oh, wait, Javier. Wait. There it is! First contact! First contact with the enemy. Overlord gonna get picked out of the sky. And now he's back in the dark. Is Dalinar here? The Blackthorn. I think that's his name. It's been a while since I've read the latest book in the series, but it's ongoing. It's the Stormlight Archives by Brandon Sanderson. Really good stuff, by the way, if you haven't read it. And it's on book, I think book 3 just finished of what is going to be a 10-book series because Brandon Sanderson is a crazy person. If this was the only thing he was writing, he'd be a crazy person, but he's also writing like 5 other series at the same time, which I don't know how he does it. I have a particular theory that he's keeping grad students enslaved under, like in the basement of his house, chained to desks and just writing for him because I don't know how he does it. He also teaches. He teaches writing at Brigham Young University. He travels a lot. I don't know how he does what he does, but he's definitely the preeminent fantasy author today, especially considering Rothfuss and Martin have not put anything out in years at this point. And honestly, same with Jim Butcher for the Dresden Files. All right, Hydra's going for it! Thinking, yeah, I don't know about going for it is the right idea there. Going to try to engage here without the tanks. Good job kind of dancing back and forth right now is Javier. He doesn't want to engage without the tank support, and Dalinar's doing a pretty good job not accepting that bait. Although, man, is he going in? 28 Lings in production. Would 28 Lings do this? Maybe. If the Hydras are soaking up the tank damage and Lings just got in and got us around on these tanks, I think that might be it. Baneling Nest coming in, working on +1 ground carapace, +2 missile attack. 4 bases running for Dalinar, 67 to 50 total workers. Another base would be good here at 9 minutes. About every 3 minutes you can expand, assuming you're not being attacked consistently, which definitely Dalinar is not. Man, tank fire against Hydras is really, really good stuff. Working on that +1 ground armor, it's going to help quite a bit. This Overlord grouping is freaking me out on the minimap, because it's just like they're huddled up along the top side here, and I don't know what they are when I first glance at them. It's stupid. What's our anti-air? Anti-air is pretty good. There's almost a full page of Marines. They've got +1/+1. Working on +2 attack here as well. And here goes nothing. Oh, Baneling's trying to morph in, but it's the wrong time for that. Oh, go get it. Javier, get those Banelings. Get the Banelings. Or just kill them with tank fire. That's fine, too. totally fine. He doesn't even have typical hooks for these. This is so bad for Dalinar. Do not engage here. The Banelings get a couple decent hits off, but most of them are just dead. Woo! Not the best attempts. Not the best attack there from Dalinar at all. That said, he's up 148 to 115 supply. He's sitting on 4 bases. Javier finally going for a third base. In the traditional third base location here on the acid plant. Injects are still happening. Injects here. 5 larvae. There's only 5 larvae? I guess this queen is about 64 energy, which is, you know, still pretty good. Honestly, for this stage of the game, he hasn't missed too many injects. But yeah, 10 more Hydras. If at first you don't succeed with Hydra and your opponent has a million tanks, continue to make Hydras. That is the strategy here today for Dalinar. Tanks have +1 attack. Third base is up and running. It is almost a planetary fortress, and the timing could not be better for that. That said, the tanks make sure the Lings can't do anything anyway. That is a flaming wreckage of bleeding dead Zerg bodies right there. Planetary Fortress got 4 kills, got in on the action a little bit, but not all that much. Honestly, man, honestly, Lingbane Hydra would be better, or Lingbane Muta would be better than Hydra here. There's not that much anti-air in that location. There's a sensor tower, but you show up with like 20 Mutas, and you just win this battle. The tanks go down. These guys are split up into groups. I don't like continue. The Lings again are okay, but you really need something to get rid of the tanks when everything else is dead. And so far, not really happening for Dalinar. He's not expanding either. He has the money to expand. It's been about 6 minutes since he last expanded. The expansion timings for Javier are even worse, mind you. I mean, I'm not picking on the Zerg player unnecessarily here, comparatively, but Javier definitely needs a 4th base at the 11-minute mark of the game. He's not meching, right? It's not like he doesn't have the units to defend it. He does. He's got a lot of tanks. But this Lingbane Hydra thing is definitely more of a Protoss-type strategy. So I don't, well, versus Protoss type strategy anyway. It's not something we generally see from Zergs versus Terran. All right, here goes nothing. Good. Oh my gosh, the target firing was brilliant out of Javier right there. Those Banelings did not stand a chance. A lot of them are stuck in this Hydra group, which is kind of hilarious. The Hydra's just kind of going through here. Banelings trying to get target fire on anything. I think he's got them all in the same... No, he's got all the Banelings on their own group, but they're all just stuck in the Hydralisks. Too much. Too much tank, man. Way too many tanks on the ground for this to work for you, man. Dude, it was a good effort. I like the upgrades you have. And still more insanity. 21 Hydralisks in production from Dalinar. 8 p.m. at this stage of the game. 211 for Dalinar, about 107. For Javier, finally expanding as Dalinar. Thank goodness, you're giving me a bit of a heart attack, good sir. Left side here for a 5th base at the 12-minute mark. Still making Lings and Hydras, though, which I am extremely concerned about. Additional tank production here from Javier. Not spending his money all that well. Sitting at about 3,000, 1,000. He's continuing to get upgrades for his tanks and his Marines and his Marauders. But, dude, you need more production. You need more barracks, or maybe just use the ones that you have. These barracks are sitting empty right now. You have, look, you have additional supply. You're not supply blocked. You have additional barracks. Finally using those a little bit. Just make stuff. Honestly, at this level of StarCraft, if you just make stuff, you're going to be okay. I know I'm ragging on Dalinar for making these Hydras, but if he had a maxed out Hydra Ling Baneling army, I think he could do this. This is just such a small group of bio right here. Are there more coming on in? More coming on in all the time. And now he's queuing up his barracks, which indicates you definitely need additional barracks. If you can queue up 5 Marines on each of your barracks, you need more than you have. Infestation Pit on the way, likely just going to be for Hive and other full upgrades. But when your opponent is committing to this many tanks, Mutalisks are not a bad idea. This is not a ton of bio whatsoever from Javier. The 5th base is popped from Dalinar. He's saturating his gas. He's sitting on 1,000, 1,000 in his bank as well. 7 Mutas. All right, so Dalinar's like, you're right. Mutas are a good thing to do here, Falcon. Let me do that for ya. Does he have 2 Spires? No, just the one. Just the one, and he's maxed out. He would make more Mutas, I think, here, but he's maxed out. Honestly, these should all be Banelings. Well... Maybe. I don't know. 4th base landing here for Javier right now. Mecha Mutas showing up. I don't think we saw these in the best of 9 ZVP that I did last week against, or earlier this week against, between Railgun and Light. Look at these guys. They're neat. They got little glowy things on the end of their bodies that they shoot the stuff out of. Mech Mutas, man. Who knew? Who knew they would be cool? The Mech Banelings are also pretty neat to look at. Mesmerizing. Mesmerizing is what it is. All right, tanks are set up. They've got +2 attack. They are not messing around. They are begging Dalinar to walk up this ramp into a death situation. Planetary Fortress there, too. All right, man. This is the Zerg Death Ball, though. Look at these guys go. All right, so the Mutas just a move on in. Try to finish off one tank. They might get another tank here. This base is gone. But I don't know the rest of Javier's army is gone necessarily. Oh, my gosh, the Banelings, though. Getting some decent hits off, but nope. Those Hydras disappeared so fast. Guess who's making 40 Hydralisks? Dalinar is. He says, these Hydras are not letting me kill my enemy, but I'm going to keep making them anyway. It's 24,000 resources lost to 8,000. Dalinar has lost 3 times as many resources to Javier. 88 Hydras, 80 Banelings, 7 Mutas, 104 Zerglings. For 69 Marines, 9 tanks, 10 Marauders. It's just not good trades thus far from Dalinar. It really, really isn't. So again, I like the base count that Dalinar has. Javier replacing his 4th base very, very nicely. The Hydras, at least get 3-3 for your Hydras. I don't think it's going to matter all that much, but do it. And then 7 more Mutalisks. I think he just ended up A-moving the Mutas. They were picking off tanks at the early stages, but then everything just went, and the Mutas died. If you're going to play with Muta, you cannot just put them on the same hotkey as everything else and just A-move with them. They will die. They're flimsy. They need to be killing stuff that cannot shoot back, like tanks, for example, or SCVs. For real good Mutalisk base to hit, because there's nothing that shoots up at all at this third. First aggression from Javier. He recognizes, hey, there's a base. Oh, there's a base here too. He recognizes there's a 5th base for the first time with his drop, with +3 attack Marines and Marauders. So this tank is, or this queen is dead. I know these drones are out as well. The Muta's gonna fly in over and try to do stuff. Oh, don't pick up. Oh boy. Oh boy. All right, so Medevac's out. Thank you for playing. But when there are Mutas and Hydras on the field, your drops are not going to do as well as they otherwise would be. I just like the Mutas. I've never bought a skin before. I have some stuff that is skinned just because I've got achievements. I got the Heart of the Swarm Collector's Edition for my Ultras, but Mech Zerg kind of makes me want to get Mech Zerg. Another base on the way on the right side for Dalinar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is his 6th base on up there. Creep spreading pretty well, honestly. Although considering that the Terran player has killed exactly 0 creep tumors. Oh, hey, look, the Mutas showed up, but Javier a bit ready for that. Yeah, Hydras just trade so poorly with just Bio. After they get their upgrades, finally starting to push these tumors back. Javier is feeling like, all right, that's it, let's go. Dalinar making 23 Mutalisks and 18 Zerglings. So the good news for him is he spends his money pretty well. When he loses an army, he remaxes it as best he can. A mule gets called down here for Javier. Was that an accident? Is he going to repair the Medevacs? That'd be pretty good, but I think he's just A-moving them. Okay, I don't know about coming up this ramp, Javier. All right, here we go. Coming up the ramp, Mutas are dying so quickly. Zerglings coming in from the right side. Mutas actually doing okay from the top side there, too. Again, there were 22 of them in production. The Hydra's cleaning up from distance right now. Mutas trying to get rid of these Medevacs. The Marines shooting them, getting rid of them as well. 2 Mutas remaining. And the Terran army retreats in disgrace, making 10 Marines at a time, working on a +2 vehicle and ship plating. Got +3 attack on his tanks. And it's going to be more Mutas. It's going to be more Zerglings from Dalinar. Hey, this mule's alive. How did you get here? You were back here, and then you're here. What? I don't know how he did it. He's going to die, but he would have been impressive that he's alive. We shall name him Phil. Goodbye, Phil. Don't know how you did it. The luckiest mule of all time, I believe. Once again, this composition is just not good. for Dalinar. Does he have lights on his back? He's got like eyes on the back of these mutas too. That's an interesting, weird choice. Look at his creep spread. He's got 9 creep tumors at a time popping. I mean, if he's going to keep Javier contained, I'm okay with this. I really am. Oh, he scans the multitude of banelings. +2/+2 banelings in this mix right now. Working on a high-sec auto tracking is Javier, but it's just, man, going against this many 3/3 tanks. Okay, here goes. The Bio taking some serious baneling hits right to the face, but everybody else is dead on the ground because the tanks are still alive. And there's enough mutas, or enough marines to chase the mutalisks back. So again, a lot of dead stuff, but just Dalinar's not able to get a resounding victory that allows him to just roll over the rest of the stuff, which is what you want to do as Zerg, if you're being aggressive like this anyway. The problem for Javier is he's allowed Dalinar to expand 1 billion times. That's a 7th base for him. And he's got creep pushing at one of the few places that he can expand is there. We could also get this one removed from his potential locations as well. And this one, hey, look at this! Greater Spire from Dalinar. Okay. All right, Broodlords, good idea. Good idea from Dalinar. Broodlords against this composition where there are so many tanks and not any Vikings. Good, excellent choice. This group's sitting on creep and just kind of, yeah, problematically. Oh, the medevacs went over ahead. Oh, did they abandon everybody? They sure did. You're all dead now. Thank you. And the creep tumor lives and is going to keep shutting this thing down anyway. This creep spread, just one more tumor. One more tumor will shut this whole base down. Tumor can't go down cliffs. It can go around, though. So where's the... Oh, he'd have to go here, then here, then here, and then he can shut that one down as well. I'd like to see that from Dalinar. He's maxed out, essentially. He's making 4 corruptors. His mineral count is actually fairly low for how many bases he has. Look at resources lost. He's lost 30,000 minerals so far, and 14,000 gas compared to 15,000 minerals and 2,000 gas from Javier. Yeah, this is just the Zerg throwing himself into a meat grinder over and over and over. And eventually, it sure as heck might win. Like, let's not think that Dalinar can't win this game, because that's a viable strategy. We've seen Zerg players win while losing way more resources than their opponent, especially Terran or Protoss, but yeah, I mean, Javier's ability to micro against banelings is his big downfall. If he could split at all, I think it'd be a big deal. All right, tanks are up. Yeah, banelings not getting connections this time. No siree Bob. Not with tanks, not with target firing. The target firing has been okay. Tank fires, couple baneling hits, decent baneling hits, but the tanks are firing from behind. The mutas are still alive. They need to be a priority target here, but no, the mutas are allowed to live. And the tanks are getting picked off here as well. Finally making some Broodlords on the high ground here is Dalinar. And the Broodlords are going to be a problem for Javier. What does he have that can shoot up right now? 21 Marines. He's got 21 Marines that can shoot up. The Zerglings have 2/2 upgrades, which means the Broodlings will also have 2/2 upgrades. And again, kind of a ragtag army here from Dalinar. He's making 7. Wait, where the heck are the 7 Broodlords? Where's the other 3? Oh, over here. They're not too far. Not too far at all. Mecha Broodlords present. We saw those in our best of 9 that I cast on Sunday, which if you didn't watch it, you probably should. All right, Zerglings coming on in. Broodlings and Broodlords firing on down on everything. This is a problem for Javier. I don't know how he deals with Broodlords, unless he just gets on up under them and target fires them down. Look at this. Not doing too bad. A Broodlord does go down. Look at all this dead Mexican over here. That is so interesting. Yeah, if the Broodlords are unsupported and you have enough Marines, you can get under them and kill them pretty darn easily. They can heal through the damage hit Broodlings will give them pretty darn quickly. But Dalinar making panic Zerglings. He just made a whole bunch. He's got 72 of them and working on +3 attack. Does he have adrenal glands? No, dude, if you're going to make this many Zerglings, get adrenal glands. Pro tip from Falcon Paladin. Thank you very much for asking. Another base here for Dalinar on the left side. That's an 8th base for him. Man, place your bets now. Who's going to win this thing? I feel like Dalinar's doing okay for himself. But Javier has won every major engagement that has really threatened him in a really disturbing way, right? Sure, he lost his 4th base, but he got it back pretty easily. Yeah, the Vikings are out now. The Vikings are here now. There's not enough Corruptors to deal with these Vikings. And suddenly the Broodlords are just getting massacred by these guys. They don't even have attack upgrades. They just do bonus damage versus armored flying stuff. And that's something that Broodlords are. Another Broodlord down. The Corruptors just aren't really standing a chance right now. Oh, some more flying in though. Okay, all right. The reinforcements from Dalinar are really turning the tides in this battle. But there's only 2 Broodlords remaining, and that's just not really enough to threaten this in any meaningful way at all. All right, so Dalinar, are you going to mine everything out? He's going to try to mine out the whole base. I think it's his plan. And those are shining minerals. These are shining minerals. These are starting to sort of shine a little bit. Dalinar's actually down 179 to 192 supply right now, which is kind of incredible. Yeah, I don't. Nope. Okay, this is just not good for Dalinar at all. Why are you flying into here with your Corruptors? Why? They're just gonna get murdered by stuff from the ground. Some mutas are here. That's not gonna be as useful as you want them to be. Look at him target fire down the Broodlords. He knows they're the concern. Everything else he can handle. The mutas he can handle. The Corruptors he can handle. The Lings he can handle. Yep, he's got his base. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5th base for Javier. Yep, that's what it is. This base has not been taken yet, and this base has not been taken yet. Oh, and this one as well. So the 2 gold bases have not been taken at this stage of the game. But that's a lot of drones on 1 mineral patch, dude. You might want to expand there, just for the sake of we're seeing a lot of expansions in this game. Cannot believe how much dead stuff we've seen. These guys trying to clear out creep. Nope. Zerglings and Mutas got that. Oh, the Banelings get target fire down, though. Javier's target firing ability is pretty great. It really is. Resources lost. Going to be a full 61,000 for Dalinar compared to 27,000 from Javier. So, any upgrades for the Vikings? Not really. Production tab for Javier is very quiet right now. Absolutely nothing coming in for him. No upgrades, no marine production, no tank production whatsoever. His APM is 128. What's he doing? Here, we do this. Oh, he just dropped 1 million mules at this base. And then he's looking around, bringing tanks up to set them in defensive positions. Still not making anything at all. Oh, he sees Broodlords coming in. He sees Broodlords morphing in. He saw their cocoons. Is he ready for him, though? Where's his Viking count at? It's pretty good. The Corruptor count got scary all of a sudden for Dalinar, though, and there's 78 Zerglings in production. 2 Vikings at a time being pumped by Javier. I really think he needs more than that. He also needs upgrades for his Vikings if he's going to make this thing work at all. But the ground unit's not going to do all that well. Oh, the Banelings, why? Okay, I thought you were going to just... Wait, why? No! They didn't kill anything! That's 149 dead Banelings. Okay, the Zergany is extremely upset by that. Why would you just... Oh, is he freeing up supply? Fair enough, dude. I guess... But, no, roll it into somewhere else. Kill another base. Don't roll it where you know they're all going to die. If you're throwing away supply, throw them away in a way that they're moderately useful. Don't just... Alright, well, here are the Broodlords. Entirely unsupported, mind you. Oh, it's a lot of Broodlord, though. It's a lot of Broodlord. The tanks are going to try to come in a little bit. No, they didn't come down that ramp. I'm actually impressed by that. Honestly. Oh, did he make too many Broodlords and not enough Corruptors remain? Oh, Dalinar, it's a rookie mistake, dude. You can't go all in on your Broodlords and only leave a handful of Corruptors left to deal with these Vikings. The Muta's trying to do stuff. Getting destroyed from distance. Oh, the Muta's baiting the Lings into the tank fire. All right, man. Tanks down. Broodlings getting killed. Friendly fire killing a bunch of Marines and Marauders as well. It's not what you want if you're Javier, but that's okay. I cannot believe this is happening right now. Zergling's trying to run down. That is just... That ramp is death. See all this dead Zerg blood here? That is death. The Viking kiting is incredible right now. The Corruptors are just getting absolutely picked out of the sky. They don't have any attack upgrades either. Now suddenly, Broodlords getting destroyed quite nicely. Where are the other Marines? Why are you not making 1 million Marines at a time, 1 million Vikings at a time here too? I think Dalinar might have done this just by the sheer fact that Javier did not take the air threat seriously, and he's going to lose all of his Vikings. And that's it. JavierPBR is out. Dalinar wins the game in an incredibly hard-fought, incredibly Zerg blood-spilling game. And that's it. He's out. This whole setup reminds me of one of my first games in Wings of Liberty. Well, not my first, but back in Wings of Liberty anyway, when I was laddering. And I went for a Broodlord Corruptor style attack just across the map and slowly pushed forward. I kept losing Corruptors to Vikings, and it just kept making more Corruptors and flying them on in, and eventually just kind of overwhelmed the Viking count like this, and won with the Broodlords. So that's some interesting memories there. But yeah, all right, Terran player pro tip: if you're dealing with a Zerg player who's going this many Broodlords, throw down 2 more starboards, give them reactors, and start making a ton of Vikings at a time. Give them these air weapon upgrades about 10 minutes ago when you first started seeing these Broodlords, because then you can just wipe these suckers out, and then you're okay. You're just fine. The real big problem, though, is that 0 hatcheries died in this game. Only 18 drones died. That was all this attack on the left side with that drop. That did pretty well for itself, but also got wiped off the face of the map. So, Javier, if you're going to win against a Zerg player, you got to be more aggressive than this. He really sat back a lot, and that is not how you can do this at all. And in the end, again, even though you killed a full 72,000 resources of Zerg, which, holy crap, only in 30 minutes... you're not going to win these more often than not. Usually the Zerg player is going to go Mass Hydra against your tanks. Right. And usually they're going to expand a whole bunch more times and maybe go for these Broodlords a lot sooner. But anyway, good times. Good times had by all. All right, so that is going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at you with yet another edition of MidRank Madness. Go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that subscribe if you like what you saw and what you heard today. You can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.
Before us, our honor guides us. Me with you, you with me. We are as one. Justice, our duty is unending. I feel your presence. We are as one. Sense of soul, a soul in search of the answers. May the gods watch over you. Kushala Adu. Ascension is before us. Our honor guides us. Me with you, you with me. sense a soul. A soul in search of the answers. May the gods watch over you. Kushala Adu. Sense of soul. A soul in search of the answers. May the gods watch over you. Kushala Adu. I sense a soul. A soul in search of the answers. May the gods watch over you. Kushala Adu. Kalarulas. Karamulas. Akhlaranas. Naslaran. Kinalatu. Casar di Templare. Daramarga. Oshara Sashina. Kinala Tu.